Chaos isn't new to us. In fact, we live in it. It is the spice of life. One wouldn't be flustered with chaos at a traffic intersection or a bazaar, and I'm not referring to a supermarket, a bazaar, or a metro station. But sometimes chaos grows so immense that it feels like the ground is slipping beneath us, leaving us helpless. Think of an economic downturn or a personal crisis. A recent one was the pandemic, a global storm that shook the world. Yet some nations, India among them, navigated it with resilience. Some organizations too not only survived but emerged stronger. And the difference was the leadership. People who instinctively knew how to deal with it and come out stronger on the other side. All of us will find ourselves in turbulent situations like this. And it would be nice to know how to create order in chaos. I have also had my fair share of dealing with chaos. Today, I want to share a framework of 3 steps from my personal experience of dealing with chaos that may help survive, revive, and thrive. We will also see how leaders who embody 6 qualities: emotional balance, care for people, innovative spirit, domain knowledge, resilience, and the ability to respond rather than react, have created order in chaos and emerged stronger. When chaos hits, survival is the first instinct. But survival is not passive. It demands conscious leadership. Take the case of a hospital emergency room. Every day you would have several people being brought in. Someone who has been in a severe road accident, or someone with a heart attack, or any other life-threatening emergency. In every case, extremely clinically, no feelings, the doctors would first and foremost try to stabilize the patient, control vitals like heartbeat, breathing, stem blood flow, whatever it takes to prevent the patient from slipping away. This tests the emotional balance of the doctor to the extreme. Survival, by the way, starts with emotional balance because people look to leaders not just for answers but for reassurance. If the captain panics, crew abandons ship. During the tragic 26/11 terrorist attacks in Mumbai, the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel was under siege. Amid the chaos, and you'll not believe this, employees shielded guests with their own bodies, guiding them through hidden passages to safety. Why would they do that? Because of a culture set by senior Tata leadership. Employees knew people first. Ratan Tata personally visited families of employees, guests, bystanders, and even small vendors who were injured or killed, ensuring lifelong support. In the Tata DNA, businesses exist to serve society. I am a proud Tata man myself. Survival often means going back to basics. During COVID-19, we all know airlines worldwide were grounded. Singapore Airlines, a company built on international travel, shifted focus to cargo flights. They refused to fold. And that's resilience, bending without breaking. So, survival is not luck. It's emotional balance, it's caring for people, and it is resilience in the face of adversity. Once survival has been ensured, the next challenge is revival. That is rebuilding momentum. Let's circle back to our patient in the hospital. So as soon as the doctors see that the patient is stable, they change treatment to help the patient come off medication, get healthy, and start a normal life as soon as possible. Take the story of Netflix. In 2011, they decided to split DVDs and streaming into separate businesses. Many predicted their end. But Reed Hastings revived the company by betting fully on streaming and investing in original content. That revived Netflix into a global entertainment powerhouse. Revival also depends on deep domain expertise and an excellent understanding of market dynamics. Take Tata Motors. During the pandemic, the auto industry was faced with two massive challenges: lockdowns that froze supply chains and a global semiconductor shortage. Many companies went into paralysis, waiting for stability. But Tata Motors leadership took a very different approach. They anticipated that as lockdowns lifted city by city, people would not go back to public transport but turn to personal cars, especially SUVs, viewed as safer for families, both for distancing and also for road safety. They realigned their sales and operations city by city, ensuring vehicles were available for sale precisely where restrictions were easing. How smart is that? On the supply side, instead of waiting endlessly in the semiconductor queue, they took a bold decision of spot buying in the global market. Although unconventional, this kept their production lines running while competition stalled. By the way, none of their employees lost their jobs just because Tata Motors was not doing well during the pandemic. The result? Tata Motors didn't just recover, they grew their passenger vehicle business 5 times during and post the pandemic, gaining market share and consumer trust. This was revival in action. Domain knowledge of consumer behavior, quick response to supply shocks, and an innovative approach to execution. I was fortunate to play a part in this story. Revival is also about reimagining culture and direction. A powerful example is Satya Nadella at Microsoft. When Nadella took charge in 2014, Microsoft was stagnating. Their culture was very rigid, people were not speaking to each other. So strategically, he pivoted the company towards cloud computing and later artificial intelligence. As a result, Microsoft's market value multiplied more than 6 times, and the company became once again a leader in innovation. Revival is moving from defense to offense, not just surviving the storm, but fixing the sails, charting a new course, and starting again. The third step is thrive. That's a real life choice. Most times, people may be satisfied to just revive to the past normal. But then there are the ambitious who see opportunity in keeping the momentum going. Remember the person who just recovered in our hospital example? Now suppose he or she chooses to summit their next mountain, or another person recovering from bankruptcy takes a business goal of growing 10x. Now that takes some guts. In 1997, Apple was weeks away from bankruptcy. Steve Jobs was brought in once again. He rebuilt the company focusing on innovation. With that, Apple didn't just survive, it thrived, redefining entire industries with products like iPod, iPhone, and iPad. Thriving also requires impactful scaling, which is, by the way, different from just growth. A brilliant example is Zoom. When the pandemic struck, millions of organizations were forced to work remotely. Schools, hospitals, businesses, even governments. Suddenly, everything that depended on collaboration had to move online. Almost by default, the world turned to Zoom. But Zoom wasn't built for that kind of traffic. So its leadership took a few bold steps. They invested to increase capacity by 30x. They rapidly strengthened security and privacy. They expanded beyond business meetings, becoming a platform for classrooms, weddings, yoga classes, and family reunions. Zoom has now become an essential tool in the post-pandemic world. To share a personal instance, my son Sagar wedding to Sucheta took place in Los Angeles, and both families witnessed it on Zoom from India. It's another story that being Indians, we did have a proper and elaborate wedding in India later. This phase also requires leaders who respond with intention rather than reacting impulsively. So think of how New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern handled the Christchurch shootings in 2019. Instead of reacting with anger, she responded with empathy and decisive action. That response, calm yet strong, not only restored order but set a global standard for compassionate leadership. So looking back, I learned each of these 3 steps and 6 qualities bit by bit over several years and in varied situations. I've also learned that maintaining mental acuity and physical vitality help in every situation. To practice this, I ensure that the first person meeting me at the beginning of the day and the last person meeting me towards the end of a long working day both get the same high energy level from me. For that, I stay fit and pursue hobbies like trekking and photography when I can. In my experience, leadership is not about position, it is situational. Many times, you may see that the senior most person is not the leader in the situation, and that's okay. So, anytime I find myself in chaos, I don't ask why me. Rather, what order can I create here? So, now let's summarize. Yeah? How do we create order in chaos? First, we survive with emotional balance, care, and resilience. Then we revive with innovation, domain knowledge, and empathy. Lastly, we thrive with resilience, intentional response, and a people first mindset. As a proud alum of this institution, I can say with confidence, always remember, you have it in you to bring order and chaos. Thank you.